Good morning and welcome to the Orlando Real Estate Buzz. I'm Brendan Rendo with the Homes in Orlando team and joined as always by Joseph Dion of Appley Home Loans.
Bam.
And the bond market just wanted to say to you, Joe, Merry Christmas.
It's a Christmas miracle. And it's been one that we've seen for the last month almost. Like, my gosh, this bond market, MBS, everything's been fantastic for us. And for home buyers trying to sneak in a contract right before the end of the year.
No kidding. It's just, you're sitting there and you're watching it. And I know people were happy that they froze, the Fed rates and stuff, but this jubilation just really has not stopped since the meeting. And I mean, we go in and we look at it and look at this thing. It's like walking down a set of stairs. Boom, doo, 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 boom,
Yeah.
doo, doo, doo.
Yeah. So we're gonna sit here for a week or two, and then we might see another stair drop.
Yeah, it just, I didn't see this coming this much from what the Fed said. It's interesting because some of the governors are out there right now kind of backpedaling that hey, we may not be this aggressive. May not do this. One of the top guys at BlackRock actually came out and said that people are being a little more exuberant than they need to be.
Yeah.
But I'll take it while we've got it. That's
What I feel like we're going to have is we're going to see a lot of this, right? And then when the actual news hits, and we talk about this all the time, is the news of the news is more important than the action. We don't actually need to see it happen. So when the Feds pull back a little bit, the markets may not react the way we think they are because it's all going to be baked in already.
It's all baked in. I mean, look at, here we go. We're into March for what people are expecting the Fed to do. And right now, 74% of the people are saying, March is our first quarter point rate decrease. So looking at where the bond market is, looking at this, it's like it's all priced in.
Yeah.
I mean, has it been over 100 basis points just about dropped in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if I pull this, I'm pretty positive that's exactly where we were.
I mean, you just look at it and it's just like, okay, here we are. Even what? This is the 18th, so this is 3 days ago. Sitting at 3.96, and we're sitting down at 3.84 here. Go back 1 month. And
if I go back to November 13, we were sitting on the 10-year around 4.6.
4.0.
Yeah, November 14th, we had a big drop. Was the first big drop that we've seen in this. Actually, November 1st was the first big drop. We were going back to November 1st, 4.93 was where the 10-year was.
Here we go. Right there. Look at this. October 19th, we peaked out at 4.98.
Yeah. And I remember we were like, roof is falling, like, holy crap. Like we were touching. I remember those days because we were stressed. It was like, are we going to cross 5? Because it kept tiptoeing and it would go up. And it would just touch across it, but it would bounce back down. And we were like, please don't.
Yep. Because it was one of those barriers that, it's a mental barrier, but you're sitting there going, oh, don't do it. Because the minute it does it, it's not coming back. You felt like it wasn't going to come back down after watching, for the past, 6-7 weeks of just, but it's, you sit there and look at this decrease, boom, 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 boom. And you're just, okay, we will take it. I think we're going to see, a January where maybe not the first week, but maybe the second week, we're going to start seeing the number of pending listings.
Yep.
If it stays here, really start popping up. People are through the first week, getting back to work. So, and it's just, everyone's just betting, hey, they're gonna drop them. And when you look at the Mortgage News Daily, this is this morning, they're saying the 30 years sitting at about 6.64, where I think you and I agreed that 6.5 mark seemed to be like where the market started to freeze a little bit.
Yep.
And we're getting really close to that 6.5 that I think will open up the market. Fortunately, I think we've seen some of the inventory grow a little bit, so maybe hopefully it won't destroy the inventory
Yep.
again. And we get back into those multiple offer battles at that, with rates being at 6.25, 6.5. You hope you don't see that. But we looking at some other news that's out there. This was interesting because we're seeing that the national anyways, median home price has actually fallen from the peak about 6.3%.
That's a big drop right there from the peak.
That's a good size drop.
That's just sizable.
I don't know if you saw the numbers coming out of California, but California's got the lowest sales they've had in 16 years right now.
I mean, I do know. I know San Francisco got decimated. I wasn't sure about the rest of the marketplace.
Yeah, I mean but you're looking at it and it makes perfect sense because our numbers always lag a little bit, and when you're sitting at 8%, and the average price out there is what, $800,000-$900,000. Doing those calculations, like, okay, that's a $6,000 a month payment. No thanks. I don't think I want that at all.
Yeah.
And then this is the other interesting one: is prices on new home sales have dropped 18% nationally, and I can believe that. I can believe that because we've seen multiple price decreases from several builders.
And it's an affordability piece, right? Like 100% affordability.
It is.
When rates went up, now we're going to deal with rates are going back down. But the second part of affordability is what? How much the homes actually cost.
I mean, you still have to, even at 6.5%, you got a $400,000 house. You've still got to make $100,000 to qualify for that house. And your payment's still going to be in the principal and interest alone, going to be in that $3,000 price range.
Yep.
And, I feel blessed because, we're sitting, we were fortunate enough to refinance it at 3% into a 20-year. And, you still understand why all these people really don't want to sell their houses sitting at that 2.5%, 3%, even the 4%ers.
Yep.
It makes it tough. And I think that may continue to constrain our inventory overall. I think the people we're going to see moving over the next year or so are more maybe downsizing baby boomers. Like we've seen a lot of that here in Florida. Yeah. And they actually a lot of them come in with cash. We're looking, basically about 35% of the market are cash buyers. And then I think it's just going to continue. I think the first-time home buyers are going to continue to have some difficulty with the savings to get the down payment, to get the closing costs. And I think we're going to continue to have to work with the sellers to help people, get into homes, still get creative with the financing. I think we're still going to work and still going to see, rate buy downs be a big part going into next year.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's just, real brief this morning. That's just kind of where the market is. It's been nice. I think just watching this chart has just been way too much fun.
Yeah. And since about the 15th, we've been very steady. Like we're sitting over support lines on the MBS. We're sitting, under resistant lines on, like, we're sitting kind of in no man's land on the bond. Like we're right in between, like we can go back up or we can go back down. We've got quite a decent room to run in both directions. But I think we've kind of, with the MBS where it's at, I don't think we're going to move too much. And I think it's going to be that way through the end of the year. Like we're at a point, usually you don't see a lot of action right now.
Yeah. Everyone's into the holidays. Everyone's kind of going to sit back. even people shopping for homes, it really has. The last 2 weeks, usually I spend a lot of time, cleaning stuff up, talking to people, getting ready for the new year. But
Yep.
with these rates, I think we're going to see a push come. I think our numbers will jump in January for the number of pending sales. And I think February is going to see we're going to jump back up above that, maybe 450, 500, maybe even hit the 500 number on a daily basis for the sales in the area.
Exactly.
Let's hop in to our numbers. And going into the Christmas holiday, we did jump a little bit. We jumped to 348 sales for the week. Interesting, the median price dropped a little bit. We're seeing this come down more into that $400,000 range, where it had been up to around 425, 426. So we've seen that actually pull back a little bit. And we've actually seen the inventory decrease this week, which kind of makes sense because a lot of people going into the holidays don't want to list their home.
Yep.
So I think, probably first week of January, second week of January, we're going to start to see the number of inventory homes continue to increase. But our condos really staying flat, only 109. Inventory continues to increase. And then we get into our original list to sales price. There's still big discounts to have. Average being $36,000 off the original.
I'm assuming that's a large scale from that kind of luxury market that's dropping big, right?
Wow. Well, yeah. Look at the over 1 million right here.
Ooh, almost a 100K drop. Wow.
150, and you're 90% of the original list price.
Wow.
So $1 million home, you're coming down to $900,000.
Yeah.
That's a big drop.
That's a big drop.
That's a big drop. The place what's holding a little bit steadier are the 400 to 500 and the 300 to 400, which is your bread and butter.
Bread and butter. That's the sweet spot. That's where most of the market's at right now, right? Like, that's not quite the first time. Well, actually 300, 400 first time home buyer price for a lot of people now.
Yeah.
Used to be 300, 400 was move up home. Yeah. Talk about change.
Talk about a change. Definitely. Days on market, we dropped a couple days, but still holding fairly steady, 45 to 50 ballpark. And you see our graph, period average sitting here at 370. And I'd love to see this shoot up to about 450 to 500.
Yeah.
Come February. That means that the market's a little steadier. It's not overheated though.
Yeah.
It's not overheated. If we get it back into the 600, 650 homes on a per weekly basis, then I think we're really going to start seeing some of the multiple offer situations come back into effect. Then you see our total actives, we're still sitting fairly high, 20% above where we were last year at this time. And then our condo market, they're still sitting 95% from original list price. And you just see the, period average, we've dropped down to 123. So that number has just continuously dropped. And I think it's not going to be, I think housing, single family homes, townhomes, I think we'll have a good year next year. But I think the condo market's just going to see continued difficulty, especially with what's going on with insurance and HOAs.
Yeah.
I just think it's not going to be a real strong market for the condos next year. So, but those are our numbers. Keep it short and sweet. This week, we got
holidays.
We got Christmas coming up. And not sure if we're going to be on next week or not, but we'll figure that out. And you have a wonderful Christmas. All right.
Everybody else.
On market.
Woo, let's keep it going. Stay flat. That's all I got.
Yep. That's
flatten the curve. Flatten the curve. Is that wait, I'm applying the wrong term. Wrong one. Flatten it.
Take care.